In a small village in Sweden, there lived an old couple. And this old couple was very, very poor. And one day, everything in their house was finished. There was no food to eat. So the old lady told her husband to go to the market and sell their cow. Well, they weren't left with much of a choice. So sadly, the husband took the cow and started walking towards the market. On the way to the market, the husband came across a very strange old man. But he was no ordinary man. He had a long, white, flowing beard that went on and on and on the road. The strange old man was wearing very pointed shoes that curved, and a pointed hat that went all the way up in the sky, and a long coat with a tail. The husband was not very sure if he was really imagining or seeing things, but then this strange old man stopped the husband and said, "Oh, hello there. Are you going to the market to sell this lovely cow?" Yes, said the husband. "Well, you don't need to go anywhere. Well, sell this cow to me in exchange of And the strange old man put his hand inside an imaginary bag and pulled out a battered old pot. "Well, in exchange of this battered old pot, wow, what do you say, huh? That's a lovely bargain, isn't it?" Now the husband looked at the pot and he was about to say no way when the strangest of the strangest things happened. The pot said, "Take me, take me." And the husband just couldn't refuse. He took the pot and gave the strange old man his cow. And no sooner had he got the pot in his hand than he regretted it and he wanted to tell him to take it back. But poof! The strange old man had vanished. Now, with a very, very heavy heart, the husband went back home carrying the battered pot in his hand. Oh yes, and his wife, how she screamed and yelled at her husband. "Our only cow you sold in exchange of this horrible battered pot." She took the pot and she flung it on the floor. And just then, the pot spoke. "Take me, clean me, shine me, and you shall see what you shall see." So the woman quickly took the pot and started cleaning it. She cleaned it and she cleaned it and she cleaned it, and then she started shining it. And she worked on it for hours on end till the pot was squeaky clean and it started shining. And just then they kept the pot on the floor, and the pot grew 2 legs and 2 hands, and it ran out of the door. The man and the woman sat down. They thought that the pot would never come back to them. But the pot had a plan. Just down the road there lived a rich man, but he was not a kind man. He was a very, very mean and wicked man. And on that day there was a big feast happening in that rich man's house, and the big fat cook was making yummy, delicious pudding. Oh, she had put so many dry fruits into the pudding. There was milk, there was chocolate, there was custard, there were currants, there were walnuts, there were almonds. Oh, you say it, and it was there. And the big fat cook was cooking the pudding, and then he wanted to put it in some dish. "Oh, there is so much pudding in this big dish, I need to fill it up somewhere," said the big fat cook. Just then the pot trotted in and placed itself just next to the cook's feet. And the cook looked down and said, "Oh, look at this. It's as if the fairies have sent this pot. You're just perfect for this pudding." And so the big fat cook started taking out the pudding, and she filled up the pot with all the pudding. And the big fat cook looked away, and when she looked back, the battered old pot pot was gone. And the big fat cook didn't know what to do. He saw the pot running out of the door, and the big fat cook fainted. The pot ran back to the man and woman, and the man and the woman were so hungry. They ate that delicious pudding for days on end. They were so happy. They were so happy and grateful to the battered old pot. Well, a few months went by, and the pot kept standing in one corner of the house. Then one day, the pot went to the woman and said, "Take me, clean me, shine me, and you shall see what you shall see." And so the woman took the pot and started cleaning it and cleaning it and cleaning it and wiping it and wiping it and wiping it and shining it and shining it and shining it till it was squeaky clean. And then the pot grew 2 legs and 2 hands and ran out of the house. The man and the woman thought that the pot would never come back this time around. But the pot had a plan, and the pot went back to that rich man's house. Now the rich man on that particular day was counting all his money, and oh, he had so much money, so many gold coins. He was counting them, and then he said, "I need a big container to put this money." And just then the pot appeared and placed itself next to the feet of the rich man. And the rich man looked at it and said, "Oh, it's as if the fairies themselves have placed this pot right next to my feet. And this is exactly what I would want to fill my money with." And so the rich man filled all his money into the pot. And no sooner did he do that than, poof, the pot vanished. And it ran outside the door. The rich man went running behind it, but the rich man couldn't see the pot anywhere. And the cook was too scared to tell him exactly what was happening. The pot ran and ran and ran and ran and ran and went back to the house of the man and the woman. The man and the woman were ecstatic. So much money. They had never seen so much money in their lives. They took out all the money, and they did not need anything else for the rest of their lives. And then one day, when they turned to see if the pot was really there or not, they realized that the pot was long gone, perhaps to help somebody else in need.